Today, as I promised, when I first met some of you about a month ago, I think, that once we get a clearer picture of what is happening with regards to the problems, in Japan, the short supply of the parts, we will update you. So today is the day where I will give you the latest update and our plan moving forward. The triple disaster in Japan, as you all know, followed by the effects on the various industries, what are the components that affected us, and what's our sales target. And during that 2 to 3 weeks, there was shortage of energy. Ada catuan, saya difahamkan ada catuan. And many of the OE manufacturers had to shut down. Why? Because as you all know, when disaster struck this area, it was announced by the government as a secure area. So nobody is allowed to go in. So that is one of the reasons why they couldn't get the information quick enough. The owners of the factories, of the vendors, were not allowed to go in immediately. Rescue operation was in there. They are not allowed to go into the factory immediately. So the owners were not able to know the extent of the damage, whether inventories were affected, and then if there's damage, how fast can they recover? Secondly, because of the power disruption, it disrupted communication and the rest. That's the reason why information was not coming fast enough at that time. But thank God, later on, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, information was forthcoming and we were able to get more information. What I want to impress upon you is that the impact of this problem or this tsunami and the nuclear plant and the earthquake is not just to the automotive industry. Now, in terms of the vendors, total vendors, for us, because of the high localization, remember when we introduced the Alza sometime back in late 2009, local content, points-wise, is almost 90%. Viva 85%, Myvi 80%. As a result of that, the number of vendors affected in total is only about 12%. Out of which, Myvi 10%, Viva 10%, and Alza 11%. Now, production, obviously, they are a close relationship or correlation to sales. Likewise, sales kita pun affected. However, the impact to us, thank God, is not as bad as what we anticipated. But nevertheless, we are still number one. We are still leading the market. What I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, in as far as the plan and the launch of the new model, kita tak ada perubahan. There's no change. It's just that it's a guessing game. When are we going to launch? But as far as we are concerned, there's no delay. We are still on track to launch our new model. Bottom line is that in as far as Perodua is concerned, we are on recovery road much earlier than what we anticipated, and we believe also much earlier than the other players. The other players, I think they have made announcement, you have read. I will not name the brands. Some are 50% down, some are 70% down. Ada yang 3 days working production in a week. But for Perodua, thank God, alhamdulillah, we are recovering much earlier than anticipated. We are still on track in as far as the introduction or the launch of the new model. We have not changed our goalposts with regards to our sales target. However, our paint supplier, ini yang I really respect them. See, the way they recover it very fast. They quickly came out with a new formula, the mixing punya formula, to match it as close as possible to those colors that are affected. So for that, I'm thankful. We have not finalized the organization in as far as the equity is concerned, but obviously Perodua would have a share in it. How much would Perodua equity be? We are now negotiating. In fact, even the location we are still discussing whether it should be within our compound or nearby. These are some of the options that we are looking at. Yeah? But nevertheless, the initial investment will be something between 200 to 250 million. Yeah? And as I mentioned much earlier, the first few years, it will only produce to meet domestic demand first. Then it will be for export. Even back to Japan. Yeah. As I mentioned, we were still carrying inventories. So we are still able to produce. It's just that, for example, we are supposed to do, say, for argument's sake, X thousand units. But because at that time, we wanted to, so to speak, stretch our inventories because we don't know what's coming. So we still proceeded with our production. And I did mention to you, in as far as Perodua is concerned, or from Daihatsu's point of view, we are the biggest market outside Japan. Perodua is the biggest market for compact car. So it is in the interest of everybody. Perodua and our shareholders and our stakeholders, that we keep on track with regards to this new model. So similarly, our vendors, yang mana yang affected also, they are able to recover fast enough. What we can assure you and the public is that, we know we are in a very price sensitive segment. Affordability is very important. So we try to keep to that . But any new model, what we do to any new models is definitely, in terms of handling, must be better. In terms of quality, must be better. In terms of fuel consumption, must be better. In terms of emission control, must be better. So this is a continuous improvement that we do for every new model. And that's our commitment. And that is actually encompassed in the 5-year strategic roadmap that we have, including engine technology. I think some of you have visited Glimpse, where we display our engine, green engine movement. We are not going into hybrid or EV. That's too expensive for us and too expensive for the consumers. So even using the current internal combustion engine, there's still room for improvement. At the end of the day, we would like to meet these two criteria. Satu, better fuel consumption. Secondly is to reduce the emission. And we believe by doing this, of course, together with our partner, Daihatsu, in terms of the output and the performance, these two targets will be as good, if not better, than any of these alternative vehicles, EVs or hybrids. And that's our commitment. Well, Daihatsu is going to be one of the partners. Perodua is one of the partners. There could be other partners. We have not finalized. Allow us to sit down and continue with our discussion. Once we finalize, we'll be making the necessary announcement. We have also indicated to the government that this project is on, and whatever incentive that the government can give to us as a new plan, sama ada pioneer status ataupun dan sebagainya, we appreciate that. This is also a form of investment, foreign investment as well as domestic investment, because it also involves us.